want to know why I use a knife? Guns are too quick. You can't savor all the little emotions.
We all know John Wick is a full-blown action daddy, and that there's a veritable smorgasbord of top-tier action scenes to choose from across the entire trilogy when it comes to picking a favourite. The first movie has a lot of great sequences, but the action moment I think gets me more than anything else is this. Wick repeatedly smacks the middle of that knife until it is going in, and his enemy is done for. As you can see, it's far from an exact science, it's a messy process. It takes all of his might, it feels awful to watch. Now make no mistake, the gunplay of John Wick has always been absolutely stellar, top tier action. It's the bread and butter of the franchise, but there's something much more visceral and real and effective with the knife. So when it comes to picking a favourite action scene from the entire series, the one that combines masterful use of framing, performance choreography, and knives, lots of knives, there can be really only one true contender. This is why the throwing knife scene is the best. God damn it, just roll it. For me, there's two very distinct thrills between the kung fu choreography of the series and gunplay. Now, John Wick is a franchise that skewers the two kinds of action close together than perhaps any other action franchise, or at least by doing it well anyway. We've all forgotten equilibrium. John Wick has always been up close and personal even during the gunfights, but by replacing the preeminent weaponry used by both Wick and his enemies, guns, with knives, it takes that kind of close quarters physical gunplay that makes the series so exhilarating and turns it up a notch. It starts off as a well-choreographed, well-shot little bit of fisticuffs, which is of course awesome, but pretty standard John Wick fare, and then it takes it up a gear. Wick and bad guy number one suddenly realise they are surrounded by a motherload of knives. With knives, Stahelski, Reeves and the team get to have their cake and eat it too, because you get to see them used dynamically at both close range and long range. You not only get the gut-wrenchingly visceral draw of seeing Wick stab and gut his enemies, you get to see them used in the same way the team use guns. Wick launches them halfway across the room and sends his enemies to the ground, except rather than a blink and you're dead gunshot, this is a f***ing hunk of metal. It's so much more tactical and nasty, and it just makes this feel so much more dangerous than a standard gunfight. The setting is perfect. This corridor is so narrow, it makes it feel claustrophobic and the threat inescapable. We've seen Wick take on more bad guys than he faces here, but seeing them all clustered together in this tight space makes this feel like he's taking on an army. There's so many little nuggets of choreography that make you go, ooh, and wince. It's just glorious to watch. This scene is chock full of satisfying near misses, like when this knife nearly goes for his knackers. I love the pause Wick gives here, probably for a millisecond, contemplating that John Wick nearly lost his John Dick. I'm sorry, I had to. There's such a rhythm to this. As one person throws the knife, so does the next person. We're cutting from both sides of the corridor, back and forth, throw and throw, like they're taking their turns, giving it their best shots to just totally obliterate the other. And again, you just couldn't get quite the same rhythm with guns. It's the bodily movements, the lunging, and the ferocity of the throws, combined with the timings, that make it such a satisfying display of combat.
Girl, this motherfucker's got rhythm, haven't he?
The sound design is of course such a big part of it. The mix of guttural exertions, cries of pain, the sounds of the knives jamming right into people, flying through the air, bouncing off jackets, wedging into the ground. It's all fantastically done. The power of Wick in this moment. It's framed so we're aligned to the assassin, bleeding out on the floor, clawing desperately to win, as Wick descends on him with such an unrelenting fury. Only John Wick could bring a knife to a gunfight and still win. And as we've seen in this video previously, the eye bit. Man, the eye bit. I don't know about you, but it's so much worse that it goes in slowly, and that fucker gets to watch the whole thing unfold before his very eyes. Oh, probably could have ended the scene there and it would still be perfection, but oh no, we return to the other end of the corridor where this mayhem began, Wick still down the other end, just to witness the slow, laboured build-up of Wick picking up the axe and... perfection. Take notes, Thor. Also, you just have to love the way Wick casually staggers out of the room. Like, he's far too old for this shit and he just wants to chill with his bloody dog, but you keep on asking for it, so he's got to keep goddamn delivering. If you need to convince someone to give John Wick a go, what better single isolated scene is there to show someone than this? Seriously, just spread the word, spread the Wick.
Tell them. Tell them all. Whoever comes.
Thank you for watching another full fat video. Don't forget to click that subscribe button and hit the bell if you'd like to see more breakdowns of movies, TV and more. A big thank you to our full fat tier patrons, Dr. Chike, Jax Merrick and Mike Nandu. You the boys. Until next time, keep it full fat.